Hi, everybody! Good to see you here, my beautiful, stunning, amazing, incredible economic warriors. You are watching the Coffee Shop Conversation Show for Entrepreneurs. I am Nastine.
And that would make me Peter.
We're the co-founders of Explore Protech Entrepreneurial Haven. This is the show where you get together. Thank you, Wolf. This is the show where we get together once a week for 1 hour, and it's like we're going into a coffee shop together with our friends from around the world, our very best friends in the entire world. And then it's also where we just chat about entrepreneurial stuff and we help each other and we share our experiences and we talk about our comments and our insights and everything. Today is going to be absolutely amazing. We have like award-winning people on the call right now. So it is freaking hot in this room right now. It is incredible, the guests that we have on here and the tribe members that we have on here today. Before we get into that, okay, so you guys know that our Fempreneur movement, family course thingy, like is rolling out at the moment. So we have this Fempreneur course where 11 of the coaches in our network are getting together and they're helping female entrepreneurs and some cool men from around the world to upgrade their business models 36 times. Like, it is an intense process and they're literally doing it because it's part of our movement. We want to save the global economy. How are we going to do that if we don't have a Fempreneur course? Like, hello. So in the build-up to this course, we literally have gotten in touch with some of the most amazing, incredible sponsors in the world. And they've all sponsored prizes ranging from $500 US upwards. Yeah, so it is amazing. So what I just quickly want to do before we get into the topic for today, which is going to be an absolute blast because it's all about using case studies for marketing. I just want to spin the wheel so that we can give away our prize that was sponsored from last week and the week before.
I don't know, but do we just go ahead and spin the wheel?
I think we should spin the wheel. I think it's going to be so cool.
I've never spun the wheel before.
I haven't either. That's why I'm nervous. So let's quickly spin the wheel. So this wheel, we have basically, you sign up for the referral program, right, from Explore Protech. We'll put the link for you in the chat again if you're still looking for it. So there's a Somerville success story blog post. On the blog post, we have our referral program you can sign up for. When you sign up for the referral program, you get a unique link. Share that link, you get points. More points equals more chances to win, okay? So let me...
So but that means I'm not going to win.
You can't win, lovely. That would be unfair.
It's not right.
Sorry, me and Peter.
Because that's something I need.
But oh yes, what is the prize, Peter?
Oh, it's something I need really badly.
So we get to pay upwards of £500 for this prize, just by the way, because we actually need it. It's a virtual photo shoot, like a headshot mini photo shoot that you do with Joanne. She gives you like 3 different professional shoots that you can use on your LinkedIn profile. It's absolutely incredible. So I think that's really going to help out one of our small business owners out there.
And she's good.
She's amazing.
Oh, she's good.
Okay, guys, so I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to attempt to do this. I'm going to get to our wheel.
Good question.
Which I probably should have pulled up before, but oh well. Okay, so this is the wheel made up of all the people that have earned points. Okay, so you can see Janine has like 9 points on the referral program. So there's Janine. Okay, so Janine's probably going to win. I don't know. Let's see. I'm going to click the wheel. Okay, and then you guys are going to see who wins the Photoshop prize. If you are...
You do know we just went from coffee shop conversation show to game show.
I know. I'm sorry. But we're helping people. We're still helping entrepreneurs. That's fine.
I think we should spin the wheel.
Okay. So we're going to spin the wheel. If you're the person that wins this photo shoot, I want you to not freak out. All you have to do is wait for an email that Somerville is going to send right now to your inbox. She's going to get in touch and she will put you in touch with Joanne so Joanne can give you the prize.
There we go.
Okay. Oh, and it includes like 3 Photoshop edited virtual headshots.
I need a lot of Photoshop.
Actual headshots.
I need a lot of
Virtual
Photoshop.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Okay, you guys ready? I'm gonna click. Let's see. Oh my goodness! Oh, that is awesome. Janine, we love you. Congratulations. Are you here?
I am. I literally logged on about 2 minutes ago.
I am so pleased for you. Congratulations. How do you feel about winning yourself some virtual photo shoot headshots, professional?
So ecstatic. I'm so happy. This is going to be a new experience, and I cannot wait to just share it with people so that they can just get in contact with her and just book a session. This is awesome.
Oh, amazing, amazing. So Janine Somerville's going to be in touch with you. She's going to be giving you your prize. Right now, we're going to move on and we're going to chat about our new prize that goes up today, because we have a prize every single week.
Do we get to spin a wheel for that too?
Not today, next week.
Next week.
No, the week after.
Week after.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have 2 weeks. You have 2 weeks to work. Yeah. Sign up for the referral program. Link in the chat. And earn points. Share link, earn points. Okay? Not that difficult. It's actually remarkably difficult.
Janine, I'm jealous.
Okay, look at all these people. I'm not nervous at all. Let's start. Okay, guys. So our next prize coming up is a freaking phenomenal, incredible, valued at over $4,000 case study bundle.
You do not want to miss this.
How cool is that? It's going to be a written case study and a video testimonial, a video case study by an Emmy award-winning journalist. How cool is that? I think that's absolutely game-changing for entrepreneurs.
I think we should explain how powerful that is.
So that's what we're here to do. Okay. So today our topic, entrepreneurs, and this is where you get involved, all of you beautiful humans on the screen. We're chatting about how to use case studies as a marketing tool. And I'm super keen to hear all of the comments, because literally when we got into business, I didn't know what a case study was.
No, we didn't know what a case study was until we were told we needed one.
We met a person that wrote case studies at £300 a page, and we were like, what are you trying to sell us? It's very expensive. What is this? And that's where we learned the power of them, and we've been addicted to them ever since. Like, it's just one of the most organic, viral ways of marketing anything. So entrepreneurs, on my screen, I would like to hear from you. If you have something to add to this conversation, please raise your hand up like so that me and Peter can stop talking. Fantastic.
Because we just love talking.
Rafer, Emmy award-winning journalist, one of our sponsors, please chat to us about how to use case studies as a marketing tool.
Hi, guys. Well, I'm grateful to be here since Jeff Strauss, my partner, and I are the ones offering a free case study. What we found is that there's no better, more powerful marketing tool. There's a convention. So as you said, I'm an Emmy award-winning former journalist. And, when you get press releases from a company talking about how great they are, you tune out. You put marketing materials out there where a company talks about how great they are, you tune out. The fundamental rule of storytelling is that every company needs to remember, brands need to remember, is you're not the hero of your own story. The hero of your story are your customers who you are helping. And at the end of the day, you are an integral role in that story. You are the guide, you are the Obi-Wan Kenobi and the Yoda, but the customer is Luke Skywalker. If you're hearing from Luke Skywalker talking about how you helped him defeat Darth Vader, more people are going to be signing up and arriving at your door. It's just a very, very powerful tool. And Jeff Strauss, and I'll let him talk about it, had been doing the written component. I worked in TV news for a number of years. Don't hold it against me. I got out of it. I was tired of just death, murder, and pain and weather. God forbid, excuse my language, it would fucking snow in my part of the States. And there's always like a damn reporter out in the snow and, hey, it's snowing. I'm the idiot out in the snow. Back to you. That's local news. Americans understand what I'm talking about. But if you can actually look this person in the eye as they are giving this heartfelt testimonial on how you help change their life, their business, whatever it is, that works. You know, at the end of the day, it's about that know, like, and trust factor. And everybody's making their decisions virtually now. And I'm not trying to sell, I'm just trying to, discuss the impact of this. And so if you can connect with somebody remotely, digitally, on an emotional level, the rewards are just it's kind of hard to put it into words. Jeff, why don't you take the baton and add to that, if you don't mind? You're on mute. Jeff, I guess I lost Jeff. Well, anyway, so
no, I'm here.
Oh, there you go.
Yep, having a little technical difficulties, but soldiering onward and upward. But Rafer's exactly right. The power of the case study is it's your customer story, and it's not just you telling your customer story. The way that we do it a little bit differently is we actually interact with your customer and get them to tell the story about how great you are and how much better off they are because of what you did for them. And that's what makes it a real great story, because it's real people with their real words telling the real story about how you really help. And that's a really powerful story to tell in marketing, because you can talk till you're blue in the face about how great you are and how great your business is. But when someone who's actually gone through your product or your program and seen great results and is out there saying how good it is, that's really going to resonate with people.
Yeah, and taking the approach of actually interviewing them and pulling it out of them, that's if you whether you work with us or any other person doing case studies, make sure that they have that I don't want to say, that journalism instinct of really digging for the story. People are sometimes nervous when you go to them. Well, what do you want me to say? Just kind of like, it's like mining for gold. You just keep moving around until you find that vein. And then when you get them to open up on that vein, you just kind of keep going down until you find, I would say in the business, the money sound bites. Those things that really pack a punch that are going to hold people's attention. Video's got to be, I would say, 90 seconds, no more than that. And then the written is where you can really get into a lot more in depth on process and that sort of thing. So we just found it to be a really good complementary tool. That's why Jeff and I partnered up on this. He had been already doing it on a written format. I've been doing it in a video format. But the video you can do via Zoom. It definitely is something that can be done remotely all over the world. In person is obviously, that's a higher investment. That's obviously really impactful if you get a nice 2-camera shoot. But if you can't do that, Zoom totally works for people making buying decisions.
Awesome. Actually, I really like it. And actually, I think in this day and age, that's something that we need to highlight, because there are different ways of doing things. And I think that's something we didn't understand. When we first started out, we surrounded ourselves with people that knew things that we didn't know, purely because we needed to learn. So even within our training space, we surrounded ourselves with people that trained on things we did not understand. And the more we learned, the more powerful we became, and the more we surrounded ourselves with those people, the stronger the space became. So, this is an absolutely phenomenal tool to be using in your space. I think it's absolutely brilliant.
And if you don't believe us, go and look at the referral page. We didn't put our referral program sign up form on a sales page. We put it on Somerville's story, because she's one of the entrepreneurs that joined us and got 12 clients in 3 months. Now, when I say that, you automatically feel different about me than if I just tell you, we have a community, we help small business owners. You're like, yeah, how much do you really help them?
Well, why don't you ask them? And that's where the power comes in.
Exactly. On that note, thank you so much, Jeff and Rafer. We're so excited to have you here with us today, and we can't wait to hear more from you. For now, let's move over to Permelia. Permelia, can I just say, your new logo is looking stunning. And I'm sure everyone watching on YouTube right now will agree. Guys, isn't she beautiful?
Well, I'll tell you what, if you're in the audience, drop a comment. Let's see what everybody has to say.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I'm very excited to be here and launching this new business, which is a platform for holistic practitioners and for clients to find them. And it's so important. It's so powerful to have a case study, to have your clients say and tell other people how whatever they did with you. I have a modality that I use, a holistic modality. And so I have testimonials on my vibrational healing website that tells people about my clients, or my clients are telling them about how the work they did with me has improved their life. So yeah, it's very powerful, very powerful. So so excited to see Jeff and Rafe are here to explain that. So yes, thank you.
Thank you,
Parham. I always forget that part. Parmelia Parham, the Healing Institute. We are a virtual global platform to connect holistic practitioners and clients who are looking for holistic ways to be well and stay well.
Thank you, Parmelia. And that is one epic way to show what kind of a host I am. So I also forgot that. Guys, if you're going to contribute to the conversation, please remember to do what Parmelia just did and end with your name, your business name, and just a short, sweet one-liner about what you do. We'd love to.
I don't know what I do.
Peter, you're on Explore Protech.
Okay.
You're hosting the show with me.
Okay, I've got it now.
So yeah, what Parmelia highlighted there, that's one way to use case studies, right? So also I didn't understand way off the bat, like at the beginning, how you actually use them. So there's so many different ways. I know Mr. Levy, I'll maybe leave this to him to say, but he's put a case study on his website and that has resulted in a client for him. The other ways is to post it maybe on social media, send it out via your email marketing. I mean, and you can repurpose it so many different times. I'm keen to hear from our podcast experts as well.
Oh, repurposed content. Love it.
You didn't even make the original version, Peter.
I know.
Mr. Levy, over to you.
Thanks, Nestine and Pete. And it's really awesome to be back here again. Missed you guys and Explore Protech and everybody on here. But I think, I learned from my partner in crime in the UK, Stephen Squared, who we chatted about case studies, and I'd only had testimonials up to then. And testimonials are great, but I think people also, I've heard people question testimonials and saying, they question, are they true? Everybody's got great testimonials. So we chatted about a case study and he did it. And the thing that I learned from it was how powerful it is compared to a testimonial, because it's, first of all, it's an outsider who's really, as I think Rafe has said, it's an outsider asking structured questions to your client. So I think that was important, is that they I know Steve, and he'll dig deep and he'll ask them the questions. The thing that I think one also, I don't know if everybody does this, but I had to ask my client for permission for Stephen to interview him. And that was important. And once he had given him permission, then it was structured and they give actual results. So I don't see that too much in testimonials. They'll tell you what great service you've given, the value, they've experienced a lot of value, but they don't really give results because they haven't got time to write a long testimonial. And in the interview, they don't really have to do anything but just speak. And then Steve did the rest, and then he put it all together in a structured format. And that was extremely powerful, and I experienced the power of it because, as you said, Nestine, you can put it on your website, but he also sent it to me in PDF format, and someone wanted to know what I do, and I sent it to them in PDF format, and actually landed, it was one of my biggest retainer contracts from it. So, the £300 a page, I suppose one has to ask is, what is the cost of not doing something like that? Not what is the cost of doing it? Or 5,000, I don't know what the value is, $4,000, I think, Rafa, is, even that, it's a small percentage of the return that you get on it. So you just got to say, it's like, ask yourself a question, not how expensive it is. I want to leave, what is the cost of not doing it? And that's my experience with it, and I would recommend it. I'm going to ask actually him to do it with one or two of my other clients. So thank you for that. And I love the video that Rafa said that you had to it. I didn't know about that, but I think that's awesome. And that's Stephen from Dare to Be Coaching and Beyond.
Thank you, Mr. Levy. And that is one of the best leadership coaches in the entire world. And we have written case studies about the work that Mr. Levy has done in our space, taking one of our baby entrepreneurs from retrenched
To not a baby anymore.
to not a baby anymore. 8 months later, he's a scale up, earning 140% of his prior salary. That's the power of Mr. Levy. Thank you so much, Mr. Levy. And the power of case studies, coincidentally.
Coincidentally.
I love that. Let's move over to Chris, Mr. Producer. What do you have to add to the conversation?
So I'm normally a little bit slow to the party. So what you're saying is these case study things is a formal way of putting things together where it's your clients and your previous work that you've done speaking for you, instead of sitting in a pitching meeting going, so like in this last client, I did this for them and I did that for them. And the person sitting on the other side is like, yeah, sure, dude, you really did do that. So this is just like a formal way of doing that, if I'm correct. Yeah, because I've been doing that in meetings and I've seen the blank faces on the other side going, do you really? So what? You're blowing your own horn there. You're getting the other people, your clients, to blow your horn for you. But I do have a question for the panel while my little boy is banging on me. If my biggest client and biggest success I've ever had was, Luke, is I had to sign an NDA with them. So I'm not allowed to mention who they are, what they do, etc., etc. They won't let me interview them, but it was one of my most successful clients. How does one get around that in doing case studies? I'm Chris from Live to Dream, virtual business manager.
Thank you so much, Chris. One of the best virtual business managers in the entire world, I'll say. And an awesome YouTube producer. Well, I mean, luckily we have an attorney on the screen, right? I mean, this would be very awkward if we didn't have a legal expert.
What
But we do.
What are the odds of that?
So, Nicolene, are you going to put up your hand? Awesome. And while you do, let's move over to the next person in the queue, Rafer. Let's hear from you.
Well, I wanted to address his very astute question, and also first give a shout out to Stephen Levy. He's absolutely right, and thank you, Stephen, for helping Jeff and I communicate what it is we do with more clarity. You're obviously very good at what you do. There's a very big difference between a testimonial and a case study. You know, a testimonial is a quick little, but a case study is really going to get granular and get into the weeds of specifically how the problem was solved and what the experience was from the entire get-go. So there is a discovery process. There isn't just, you know, hey, tell me something great, thanks a lot. We really want to get into finding out the specific nuggets that will resonate to an audience. And that's ultimately where the cost comes in. Now, if you just do a written testimonial, it's obviously much less than $4,000. So to address the gentleman, Chris's question, it's pretty difficult to do it with anonymity. I mean, it's impossible to do it in a video format, obviously. You're going to, if you want a person to share their experience, they can do it anonymously. I mean, we in the media use anonymous sources all the time. So if they're comfortable doing that anonymously and just say that they work in a specific field, in that case, you would just do a written case study only. It's probably, I mean, Jeff, you need to jump in on this one because I've never experienced an anonymous case study before, and I don't know how successful that would be. But of course, it is a blend of, like you said, Chris, this was your most successful client whose problem that you solved. Jeff, are you still here? Can you chime in on this, whether you can be anonymous or not?
Sure. Yeah. Of course, you can be anonymous. I've actually had different situations where potential clients have asked, can my clients be anonymous and still tell the story of their customer journey with you? And I said, of course, you know, we can ask them ahead of time and say, hey, would you prefer to be anonymous or not? And as Rafer said, if you have an anonymous subject for the case study, it's probably not going to be as effective but you're still using real quotes and the real story and the real day of that customer. And the level of detail is going to be such that even though it's anonymous, people are going to sense that this is a real story and not a fiction. And we can also work within the case study to explain the fact that, this person who is talking about their journey preferred to remain anonymous because, and explain the reasons why. Like one client that we'll be potentially working with soon deals with a lot of high value investing type people who want to keep their names out of how they're investing their money, but they'd be willing to tell the story if they're able to remain anonymous. So in that case, we could preface the case study by saying, due to the nature of how this client was helped, they prefer to remain anonymous, but nonetheless, here's their story of how this business helped them become richer, basically, in terms of an investment company type situation.
Pete, can I just add something to what Jeff just said? Just sorry to interrupt the other people, but one was the thing that stood out for me is if it's not anonymous, Jeff, that it's good advertising for the clients as well, because they had their name, he's got his picture, so it's a win-win for both parties.
Yes, that's exactly right. Beyond the logo and a link to their website, it's also going to have a little bit of bio about the company. In the beginning, it's going to say, here's this company, here's how long they've been in business, here's the product or service they offer, here's the clientele they serve. So that, it's going to be a marketing tool. Wherever that case study goes is going to be a marketing tool for whoever's the subject of the case study as well. So they're getting a benefit. So they have a reason to be part of the process. I mean, it's a pretty simple process. The way that we do it is after we meet with you to discuss the story you want to tell about your client's journey, we'll generate a customized set of questions that we will then send over the internet, and they can answer at their leisure and get back to us in about a week's time. And then from those answers, from that custom set of questions, we will generate the story, and then if they, the written story, and then if they've also decided to do the video case study, we will take the written case study and the questions and answers, and Rafer will then do the Zoom interview and create the really nice produced video product for you to use in your marketing.
Nice.
Yeah, they have to have something in it for them, otherwise they don't do it. And so the only way it can be sold to them is that it is a cross-promotional tool for brand awareness, because at the end of the day, they're bragging about their own success as a company. It's just whether they feel comfortable getting, into the weeds and how they were able to transform that to a successful, but it puts them in a positive light. And then, it becomes a cross-promotional tool with our clients and their clients. And then Jeff and I, we also share them on our social media, our LinkedIn, with our network as well. And Jeff has a lot of friends. I don't have a lot of friends. I have a lot of social media contacts, but Jeff's infinitely more popular.
Well, speaking of friends, let's put as many people.
I don't know about that, Ray.
Sorry, speaking of friends, let's just put as many people into this conversation as possible. And I'd like to get into the legal aspect of it a little bit with Nicolene, and then we can jump over to Dan.
Can we just quickly go to Wolf, because he has to go, and he wants to say something about exitpreneurs and the value of case studies in selling high-ticket items?
Okay, so switch that around. We'll jump to the Wolf. Wolf, jump in. Let's see what you have to say.
Yeah, I think it's so good being here today again. And I think the case study topic is so relevant. And because I'm working with exitpreneurs, so people want to sell their business, they're thinking about selling their business, and so there's a high trust issue. And it's like, who do you talk to? Who do you open up, tell the vulnerable side of your business, the great and the bad parts? Because in the end, when you sell it, it all will come out. So they have to show themselves. And for this, case studies are really crucial. And one thing I realized was really interesting in case studies when you write them, when you find out all the blockers in your sales, people don't buy because there's a trust. I don't know if I can trust you. There is I don't buy because I don't know. It might be too much time. I don't know. You don't have a legal background. So all these arguments of the clients, which you hear in sales where they don't buy, you can put them into the sales into the case study. Kind of like, oh, Wolfgang, like you are not a lawyer, so how can you still advise me? I have no time to really like do this and this. So basically you flip the arguments of the clients to not buy, bring them into the case study. And if the other person is saying that, I was looking for a lawyer, but lawyer has no entrepreneurial expertise. But Wolfgang he's not a lawyer, but he had worked with a lot and so and so and so. So, and in the end, I have my own lawyer, so this wasn't relevant.
Mm.
So that's the flip.
That is cool. I didn't know that. That is so cool. Okay.
So this is Wolfgang from the Second Mountain. So I'm coaching entrepreneurs on their way of selling their business and a life beyond.
Thank you, Mr. Wolf. Wolf of Hamburg, everybody. Thank you. That is so cool. I remember now Marlon said stories are a way of influencing the people that are reading the story. So if you're like talking about them, but without talking about them, kind of.
Mm.
That is so cool. I love that. Nicolene, I cannot like wait any longer. Can you please just drop all of your legal expertise on us right now, please?
Thank you for having me. So I think if we're talking about an NDA being signed, to answer the question, the most important bit is to really read your NDA. I know you get NDAs and NDAs, right? Those free ones that we often download from very much unreliable sources. So it's important that first and foremost, you actually read the NDA and see what you actually agreed to keeping confidential. Now, in certain industries, NDA or no NDA, certain things has to remain confidential. For example, in my world, anything that gets said to me, I don't need an NDA, that is confidential. So if you are seeking to gauge with your client whether they would want to partake in a case study, I think a first point would be to make sure that you understand the framework of what you've agreed to keep secret, and to see how you can position maybe an addendum to the agreement or a consent. But the important point is, if there's an NDA, step one, read it. If you need some advice, step two, get it. And then to get the permission before you just go down the rabbit hole of asking for it. I'm Nicolene Skuman-Low. I'm an attorney practicing in Cape Town, South Africa. I practice at a firm called Skuman-Low Incorporated, and we have 2 legal tech tools, Pocket Advisor and Contracts for Biz, making your downloads reliable.
How awesome is it that your attorney, and not just one, but like 2, are like right there?
That's amazing. We all need a pocket, Nicolene. Nicolene, if you want to just drop your apps in the chat, like we'd love to check it out. Thank you so much for that advice. I'm just curious, Nicolene. So does that mean can attorneys use case studies to market themselves? Because I know attorneys and maybe like accountants, like those are traditionally difficult things to market. Like it would be so valuable to market it through a case study. Like, can they still use it? Do they just need to like be very careful, or what would you advise?
Well, first and foremost, in our industry, I would recommend that you have a very clear conversation in regards to whether or not your client would be willing to participate, whether it's a testimonial, whether it's a case study, to detail the experience. And often we work with information that becomes public knowledge anyway. Think about a court scenario. The minute it's filed in the public office, it's public document and is no longer necessarily protected by privilege. So there's a fine line, but we need to box the information sort of where it belongs. And of course, if it's not part of the public record, but it's something you exchanged with this person, in a closed room as part of the relationship, the professional relationship. It's not something you can just disclose. So what we do when we collect, we do a lot of case studies for purposes of, we use it as training tools in our business. We sculpt it, we get the permission before we start sculpting it. And once the finished product is there, we get a second confirmatory consent. And to make sure that we are very clear as to where this is going to go, who is going to see it. And if the client changes their mind and they want it to disappear, then you need to respect that. So it is difficult in a professional environment, but I do think it's important for us to have those conversations, understand our relationships, and to make it work for both sides in a responsible manner.
Cool.
Love that.
Yeah, I like that.
Thank you, Nicolene. So guess what, Rafer and Jeff? One of your ideal referral partners is right on this call. Her name is Nicolene. I suggest a coffee. So good to hear from you, Nicolene. Thank you so much. Next up, oh my goodness, this person, you guys are going to freak out. Like, this person has such an unfair advantage when it like comes to Zoom calls. It's just like the first time I was like, whoa, stop showing off. Dan, please speak now.
Hey, thank you guys. Yeah, I have some thoughts. So number one, Rafer and Jeff, spot on for what the service you all provide. So they say there's no such thing as bad PR, but the clients that I help with when I'm going through some investigative issues with them, when we're trying to sort it out, when they come to me with their hair on fire, there could be bad PR, and some of these would never appear on camera. However, here's how I couch it, and I think Rafer just referred to this in the chat. And that is, if you have an opportunity that there are some great lessons learned that could be a cautionary tale for someone else, or at least preventative measure, then you can scrub that. You can figure out how to make that a story and change the names to protect the stupid, right? I mean, because most of those wounds that people are going through are self-inflicted, either by a systems or a process issue, or they made the wrong hire. They didn't ask enough questions, or they suspected something has been happening for 60 or 90 or 120 days, and they didn't take the time to ask those really thought-provoking, crucial conversation type questions to get to the bottom of it. So this is fascinating to me, how you can take the negative, the superhero journey from the negative story that has happened and turn it into lessons learned, so that it is a cautionary tale and preventing maintenance going forward. And yes, the attorney-client privilege, Nicolene, you're speaking my language. I'm not an attorney, but I've worked with a lot of them over the last 30 plus years, and it's so important. And when you get into the investigative situation, when you're doing that, it's so important to gather all the data as much as you can, and remember, the internet is forever. SMS messages are forever. WhatsApp messages are forever. You can scrub them off of the systems. You thought, I can find them, right? I mean, you've got to think about this, and you got to be proactive on how you approach it. So anyway, all right, I'll quit preaching. That's my thoughts, Nesty. Peter.
Dan, you're amazing. And that is Dan Goodwin from...
Yeah, sorry, Dan Goodwin, CYA Consulting from Overland Park, Kansas, right here in the middle of the U.S. of A. By the way, CYA stands for Cover Your Assets, in case you heard them differently in your part of the world. So.
That is so cool. I love it. I love it. I love it. And Dan, what do you do again?
I help. So the people that come to me, I help scale up. I help when people are ready to scale up their businesses. My job, my superpower is people, based on my investigative experience. So I help revet the people that are going to stay for the next chapter of this business as it moves forward. And then I help vet the people that we're inviting to be a part of the next chapter to make sure we're not hiring our own issues, our own people with baggage. So anyway, we just take skeletons out of the closet and smash them or write a story. That's what I do. Looking forward. Thank you, Nesty and Peter, for inviting me. This seems to be a really great group. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dan. So good to have you here. And again, another match made in heaven, I would say. Nicolene, Dan, Stephen, Dan. Everyone meet everyone, hooking up, like, hey.
I'm gonna weigh in and give Dan a big kudos. He and I had a conversation last week, which was just amazing. So, we all have these little discovery calls. We get on Zoom and we chat away. Dan tapes them and then he puts them on social media. So he taped our conversation and then he put it all over LinkedIn and everywhere. So yeah, you want to have a conversation. You want to have a coffee conversation with Dan for sure.
Thank you, Premilia. We had a great conversation, and I do record all my meetings. What per me is I do a screenshot, and then I honor our time together. And I'm going to ask you for a couple of hashtags. I'm going to ask you for your website. I'm going to promote you as a great person that I met. And I did that. I did that for you too, Nestine. We had a great conversation. It was awesome. I always love introducing great people to great people.
Thank you so much, Dan, and that's why we have you here. And thank you for media for that shout out. That is so beautiful. That is just how our community operates. I just have to give a shout out to Media quickly, quickly.
Very quickly.
Okay, because I was so nervous at the beginning of this, guys, because it's the first coffee shop show where we actually had the spinning wheel and everything, and I was telling everyone how nervous I was, and then Media was like, it's just a coffee chat, Nestine. Remember, it's just a coffee chat.
Yeah, I want to make sure that we're just respectful of everybody's time because we want to get as many people involved in this conversation as possible. So,
Daniel, you're up.
Daniel, jump into this conversation. Let's hear what you have to say.
Okay, thank you so much. I just want to ask a quick one. I'm a professional ghostwriter for professionals. And in my industry, I've been doing this for several years now. In my industry, it's not only about being the best of the best. Yes, people will love working with you because they're the best of the best. The word of mouth will spread like wildfire. But the other point that is equally as important is they want you to be discreet, to know that you are discreet. So if you have a combination of being they know you're the best of the best at what you do and you are discreet, that makes the best ghostwriter for people I work with. I work with people from different walks of life, across different cultures, creeds, and races. So I've been thinking of this for a long time. It's difficult, really, to do case studies, even testimonials for ghostwriting. I have a situation where my clients, they do 3 to 5 projects with me, they can come again and come again, but that's good. But how do you, it's hard to use those kind of, for market, I understand the power of a testimonial or a case study is even more powerful, but I just wanted maybe some suggestions on how do I tackle my dilemma as a ghostwriter. Yes, my clientele, they believe in me, they love what I do, the customer attention is high, but my profession, you have to be discreet. At the same time, you deliver the best quality. So I just wonder, can something like that work for me, or is there a tweak? Is somehow a way you can go around that? Thank you.
I think the way around that is to speak to the people that have already made their way around that. That's why we surround ourselves with people that have either been through the journey before us, because those are the people that hold the torches. So, even on this call, having a conversation with Jeff, having a conversation with Rafe, having a conversation with Nicolene, even Dan, just those conversations alone guide your journey. So it's about surrounding yourself with the right people and having the right conversations. So, and that's the thing about getting stuck. There's always been somebody that's been stuck in the hole that you're currently in, and they're not stuck anymore. And those are the conversations that you want to have. So I would recommend, even while we're in the session, everybody can drop their links into the chat, and those are reach out, have those conversations.
Let us know on the YouTube channel what you guys discover, because I'm pretty sure there has to be a workaround.
There must be a workaround.
There has to be. Probably what Joe mentioned earlier with the anonymizing the actual case study. So you still, and then you just very, very clear on the agreements. I'm pretty sure that would work.
I'm pretty sure that would work.
Yeah. But thank you so much, Daniel, for raising that question. It's such a good question. Tell us a bit. So you're Daniel J. Abram, the professional ghostwriter for professionals. Amazing. That's super clear. Thank you. Let's so everybody connect with each other and then let us know what happens and what the answer is. And continue the conversation on YouTube. But let's just quickly, before we run out of time, go to Hendrik.
And also, if you're in the audience and you seem to have an answer, drop it in the chat.
Yeah, I remember everyone's linked down below in the description. All the LinkedIn links are there.
Get involved, become part of the conversation. That's how we solve things.
Hendrik, over to you.
I also have a question. What of a new company that hasn't really had any clients yet? Surely you can't get either references or case studies. Do you kind of plan it for the future? How do you deal with this when you're a new company that's just started out?
That's an interesting question.
And I'm Hendrik from Bed Media, and we do podcasting and repurpose podcasts for your content marketing needs.
That's an interesting question. However, I'm pretty sure that within this strange, weird community full of really strange people that we all tend to hang out with, that somebody within our space has experienced what it is that you do. Because a little bird told me that you were exchanging services with somebody else, and they were experiencing yours and you were experiencing their services, and you guys have been having a good old time in the background. So does it necessarily need to be somebody that's paid you for your services, or does it just need to be somebody that's actually experienced who you are and what you do? I think that might be an answer to your problem.
Yeah, that's it, Peter. That's it. I mean, if you have somebody who can speak to your process, at the end of the day, the most important thing the case study does, it helps a potential client understand the process and the success and the results that will come from engaging with you in that process. So if you have somebody who can speak to that, then that would suffice until more concrete examples are there at your disposal. This community, I'm sure, could be a good resource, just for that. And that would be my suggestion.
You can do my podcast for free, Hendrik, anytime. I'm joking.
You're right. A barter situation in that situation, Nestine, a barter situation is the solution. Absolutely. When I first started my business, I had to do videos for free in exchange for other people's services. So I had examples to show other people. Bartering is a great way to get that going off the ground, get any business off the ground.
I'll bake you muffins, Hendrik, I promise. Krista, let's hear from you. Hendrik's not happy with me. Krista, we'd love to pull you into the conversation.
All right, excellent. So one thing that people haven't commented as much on is that the whole point of the case studies is, or one major point, of course, is to build trust. So because I'm also a writer and I also do ghostwriting, so I consider myself a credibility booster. And as far as case studies go, like a lot of times I can't use case studies either for myself or for clients in terms of, the traditional where they give their names and they give all the juicy details, but there's usually some aspect of the story that I can tell So even if it's not an overarching case study about the entire process and everything, there are ways that I can share kind of behind the scenes. I can talk about what typical clients get, what results, because a lot of times testimonials and case studies are often the outliers that people put up, like the best of the best of the best results they've ever gotten. And I think there's a certain amount of trust building and credibility to say, this is generally what people get from me. This is what you can expect, as opposed to this is what you can wish for.
Nice.
I like that. That is super valuable, Krista. And you are Krista Hianak from, what is your company called again?
Wise Words That Matter.
Oh, love it. And you are a blind skier, motivational speaker, and writer. Is that correct?
Yes, primarily the writer, secondarily everything else. But what I do is, because I run workshops for people as well, I bring in that motivational part of it, and I inspire and empower people to share their own stories, just as I learned to stop hiding and start embracing mine.
Well, something we are definitely going to do, because I'll tell you what, if you've ever met somebody that is inspiring, then this is the person you got to meet. So, Krista, do us a huge favor. Please drop the link to your YouTube channel into this conversation so that we can actually share that, because Krista has created some of the most amazing content, and we're just lucky to have her in our space. So please drop that information. She's faster than most of us. She's just a whole lot quicker than I am.
Yeah, she makes us look bad all the time. So Krista, Jeff, Rafer, meet each other. 3 writers always better than 1. So that would be an epic power partnership.
And Daniel, jump in on the action.
Yes, and Daniel. Oh my goodness, we have so many writers on the call today. This is so cool.
The power of the pen.
Chris, do you quickly want to wrap up for us?
I'm having to push so many buttons in the background. I'm like, Anyway, just to wrap, I think Stephen Levy summed it up beautifully by saying, what is it going to cost you not to do it? It's one of his famous sayings, but I think it boils down to, what's it going to cost you to not do your case studies and do them properly? So to do them properly, chat to the right people. And here they are, right here on this call. Like you said, everybody here across the entire world, the whole world. My German was terrible, but you got the point. Everybody's links are down below in the description, so connect with each other. Everybody on this call, connect with each other, because you will have a thing. And we maybe stumbled onto a niche within the case study testimonial thing. How to do the anonymous ones for the ghostwriters, the attorneys, maybe doctors, or the guys who can't share that kind of information. Hey, you never know. So if you pick that up as a good business idea, let us know as well. But the best thing is, great people, pull them together and do your case studies. We know they're super important as a marketing tool, because without them, you're just blowing your own horn. Rather get your clients to do it for you. I think that's a good summary.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant.
Thank you, Chris.
I love it when my clients blow my horn. No.
You have to buy me a drink first, Peter. But anyway.
Okay. My beautiful Econo is like, who are these people? Tricked me onto call with them. Guys, you've been absolutely amazing, my beautiful economic warriors. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for just chilling with us for an hour. Remember, we're back every single week. Remember to sign up for our referral program. You can win awesome prizes every single week.
And
this week.
And our next prize is?
The $4,000 case study bundle. Can we give a hand to Jeff and Rafer that have sponsored this incredible prize? This is going to help a whole lot of entrepreneurs so much. Guys, we're going to be back again next time. Thank you so much for being here with us. Continue the conversation in the comments. Don't stop here. Like, share, subscribe, all the fun stuff. Connect with everybody. They're the best of the best. We found them for you. You're welcome.
And if you're in the audience and you have questions or even topics that you want answers on, comment and we will discuss those, because there's nothing better than working together to solve problems. So if you have any, let us know. We'll discuss them.
Yeah, I think today was super helpful.
I reckon so.
But Peter, you got to learn to do this.
What do I have to do it all enthusiastically?
Yes. Smile and. On that note, bye everybody. We love you so much. Come back for more spinning wheels and prizes next week. May all your wildest entrepreneurial dreams come true.